Welcome to the channel. Thank you to everyone for tuning in. Join me on today's video where I'll be doing a double unboxing of two brand new San Martin releases. These watches were both picked up on the 11/11 sale, and San Martin took the longest to get here, and I think that's mainly down to just the sheer amount of orders they had. One of them arrived a lot quicker, but the one that I was waiting for, the new 9015 Garda watch, that took the longest, and we'll talk about that when we do the unboxing. So let's open these cases, let's get straight to it, and let's give you a quick overview of what we have here before I do the full reviews. So this is the first one. This is the SN0009, the GB. Now those hardcore San Martin followers know that San Martin released this, I think maybe 2 years ago now. I could be wrong, maybe just a bit sooner than that. And now they did a reissue. The first one that was released, I think that had a normal clasp. It had that grey charcoal dial, but they offered it in a PT5000 movement. This has been detuned to a Seiko NH35, but they've gone with a jet black enamel dial, as you can see through the plastic, and they've given us a upgrade on the fly adjustable clasp. So we're going to get this unwrapped, give you specs, dims, talk a little bit about this, and unboxing, first impressions point of view, have a quick and brief look at this watch before we put it away. So we've got that at the box. Let's take a look what the second one is. This is the brand new, the so-called best watch that San Martin have made. This is the SN0144, and this is the 36mm version. As you guys know, I am partial to smaller watch designs, but they've smashed it with this one. But let me save some for the unboxing. Let me take the stickers off both these watches, and we'll give you a quick, run through, quick first impressions before I do the full review. So here we go, guys. First impressions on the SN0009 GB, the reissue from the first GS Diver homage. Now, for me, this was a watch which made San Martin really stand out. This was one of the best watches that they made when they released the first version. The finishing was so good. This watch literally blew me away. There were a couple of problematic points in the first review, in the first version, should I say. But what I need to do actually is revisit the first review that I did and see what differences there potentially are. To me, this looks quite similar, but I need to recheck the video on the bracelet and to make sure the whole design's exactly the same, because that watch was quite a long time ago now. So let's give you the specifications. So sapphire crystal, full stainless steel case, of course, ceramic bezel insert, BGW9 lume. As I said, the Seiko NH35 automatic movement in there, and you've got 300 meters of water resistance. Let's have a quick look at the watch. The case back on the first one had that, deep embossed shark, which I quite liked, and I think a lot of people did. Just a bit of character on there, which San Martin have now lost. But now this watch, you've got a improved clasp on there, which is the on-the-fly adjustable clasp, which the first one didn't obviously have. And I think the bracelet looks a bit different, guys. So if anyone's got one, the first version, just remind me in the comment section. But I will go digging through my videos to see if there's a difference in any of the characteristics that we see here. Now, in terms of dimensions, the watch is 44mm across, thickness of 13.4mm or 13.5, let's just say. A lug-to-lug of just under 51mm at 50.7 to be exact. But then you do have male end links, so that will increase that to just 55.5mm, and you've got a bracelet lug width of 22mm. So this watch is definitely for the bigger wristed people out there already. I do get a fair few comments, people complaining about the smaller watch size that coming out, smaller dive watches. So there you go, you got a much bigger watch now, with a 44mm case and like a 55 overall lug to lug, which is going to be interesting. So let's see how this fits on a wrist when I do get it on wrist. With regards to color options, you've got this enamel black dial, and straight away you can see that enamel black makes a world of difference. The previous watch had that charcoal grey dial, which on some watches it can look okay, but with this watch where it's it's got such high level of finishing and brushing everywhere, ideally you want this jet black enamel dial, which we do now have. Give you guys a quick overview of what we have on here. I mean, you can see straight away in hand, even if it's different to the first one or not, the level of finishing, the level of detailing, this is super high end. I love that shine on that satin brushing. Yeah, those bevels, yeah, everything about this in hand, it does feel really high end. Now, price point wise, the RRP for this just before the 11/11 was £182, and I actually paid £155 with the coupons I had in the basket. Now, there's a current promotion coming up, so that is going to be at £200 in the promotion. So you're already paying more than what this was. Let's have a quick check of that bezel. So what I do recall from the first one, the bezel was a lot more refined on that one. I think the clicks were just a bit more, let's say, premium sounding. This one is quite loud, very audible. And yeah, maybe the bezel needs a bit of wearing in, but that definitely, the first bezel sounded a lot better. And yeah, I really got to check the first video, guys, because I think, you know, I don't know how similar it is to the first one. But anyway, let's put this one away. I think I've covered everything from an unboxing point of view. Now let's go to St. Martin's, supposedly the best watch ever that they've made. So yeah, this is the SN0144 version. They have made a couple of variants already, right? But one thing I do have to rate them for is that they've knocked all the sizes at the park pretty much straight away when they released the first 39mm Garda version. There's a separate listing for these watches now. You've got a GS, a GX, and a GL version, which essentially is a 36mm and a 39 and a 42. Now just on that, they should have potentially made that into a 41 rather than a 42, but no, that's just me saying that. But yeah, so this is the 36mm version. They've got 3 different colors in this. You know, the dial work, it is amazing, right? I used to call St. Martin out on dial work for such a long time, and now that they've come out with this kind of porcelain, you know, effect pattern, they call this the Jianzhan porcelain pattern. I think it's like a 1,000-year-old dynasty of, you know, porcelain and stuff. So they've kind of used that pattern and put it onto the dial, and it's quite an interesting process. I've had a quick read of it. It's like a dial enameling process, which is good to hear, right? Because this is where value needs to come in from St. Martin's part, is give us, you know, really well made dials using different designs and techniques. So then you've got this teal blue color, you've got a red, and of course you've got an orangey brown. And I went, as you can see, with this blue, it's probably my favorite out of all of them, but I think in the pictures, I think they all look as good as each other. So with this 36mm version, let's have a quick check of the dimensions. Yes, it is 36. It's about 10.3, so quite thin due to the movement they're using. And the lug to lug is just under 43.5. And the lug width, I believe this is a 19mm one. Right, yeah, just about 19, yeah. So what they have done is give you 3 different measurements. So, and this is only from St. Martin's website. So with the 39mm, you do have a lug to lug of around 46.5. And with the 42mm, you've got a lug to lug of just under 50mm, if I'm not mistaken. And the bracelet width, lug widths go 19, 21, and maybe 22, right? And that's at the top of my head, but I'll put it up on screen so you can see. Now in terms of specs, you guys possibly know what the specs are in this already. The main one being they've upgraded this to the Miyota 9015 movement. As you guys know, it's the first time St. Martin is using this movement. They have used the PT5000 before, but I believe the Miyota 9000 series is a very, very reliable. I think it can perform right next to the Swiss made movements as well. It can definitely keep up with the SW200, for example. From my experience, the 9000 series movements are very, very reliable and extremely accurate over a long period of time. I've had numerous watches with that movement in there. So it's a good thing that St. Martin did. Obviously sapphire, you know, stainless steel, 100 meters of water resistance, etc. Those are standard things. They have included a new clasp on this one. Not only is the design a bit different, they've got this kind of chamfering here, which, you know, suits the bracelet quite nice. But it's a, how do I say, it's a gliding mechanism. Yeah, I don't want to use any trademark terms, but it's different to the on the fly adjustable clasp. So this one needs to be slid, and then, you know, you can obviously set it wherever you want it. I don't know how I feel about that. I do prefer the on the fly, where you can just press that spring loaded button and change it that way. So that is new on there. In terms of prices for this one, the RRP in around the 11th of November was £244, and I got it for £208 with, you know, coupons, etc. But I did have to pay £50 customs when it arrived, so it kind of cancels itself out, and I maybe ended up paying around £260. Now in the current promotion, this watch is going to be going down to £260, which means you've got that £50 more to pay. So this is gonna, in the UK, it's gonna cost you definitely just over the £300 mark. In hand so far, I do like the new size. I like the 36mm size. It's just a case of me, obviously, you know, doing what I do before the watch review, wearing it, having a look at everything. But in terms of the finishing, yes, no one can deny that this finishing is superb. Yeah, very smooth and soft in hand. This is really nice. So San Martin clearly can do really high-end, really well-finished watches, but I want to take my time with this and give you guys a very accurate and honest review on this one. So that's it from me today, guys. Obviously, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Anything that you want to keep an eye on or report back, because I think a lot of people have received this watch, so all of that would be obviously beneficial, not only for me but for anybody else watching this video. So once again, thank you all for watching. I'll see you back when I review these watches.